today you are working on operations with decimals. So I have picked 3 problems from your work today that I want to go over just to make sure that you understand what we're doing. And the first one is going to be number 1. It says Mary and her older sister went shopping on Saturday. They traveled to the Skechers store, which is 15.67 miles away from their home. They next went to North Star Mall, which was 13.4 miles from the Skechers store. How many total miles did they travel from their home to North Star Mall? So this is how many total. That's going to tell us that that is an addition problem. So we're going to take our 2 numbers, and remember that when we are adding decimals, we want to line up our decimals. So 15.67 plus 13.4. We also annex zeros where needed. Go ahead and push pause. Try to solve this and then push play when you are finished. You should have gotten 29.07 or 29 7/100. Remember, when we have words in our problem, we want words in our answer. So our final answer is 29 7/100 miles. And then, of course, we always box our answer. The next problem we are going to do is number 6. Mr. Stanton bought 2.6 yards of fabric for $8.94. What was the cost per yard? Round to the nearest cent if necessary. So he bought 2.6 yards for $8.94, and the question is asking per yard. So that means that we want to split this up. When we take 2.6 yards and we want to find out per yard, we want to divide if we're splitting. So we want to find out cost cent. So that means we're splitting this up. So that's going to go as our dividend. Therefore, we write it first. Our division. And then 2.6. I want you to move the decimal for this problem and press play when you have done that. Okay, so for moving the decimal, remember we want to make this divisor a whole number. So in order to do that, we're going to take it from a 2.6 to a 26 by moving the decimal once. What we do to the divisor, we also have to do the dividend. We're not making the dividend a whole number. We are just moving it the same amount of times as we did on the outside. And we're going to rewrite our problem. So we have 26 now dividing into 89.4 instead of 8.94, and moving our decimal straight up into the quotient. Go ahead and press pause again and press play when you have your answer. Okay, I'm going to walk you through the final steps of this problem. So far I have 6.43 here, and I had a 100 minus 78 equals 22. And so it says to round to the nearest cent. So this is what money looks like. It's in the hundredths place right here. However, we have to round. Therefore, we have to go one more time to be able to know if we keep it at 43 cents or if it needs to be 44 cents. So we're going to go over here and multiply and see how many times 26 divides into 220. So we're going to do 26 times 8, and then 6 times 8 is 48. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 is 20. So 8 times minus 208, which leaves you with borrowing right here. 10 minus 8 is 2. 1 minus 0 is 1. So there's 12 left over. But we're going to go ahead and leave that because remember we want it to round to the nearest cent. So if we wrote down what we have right now, we notice that's not in money currency. So I want to stop right here, which means I look at the third number. If it's 5 or more, I'm going to drop it off, but adding 1 to this number right here, the 3. So therefore, it's going to be $6.44 when we round to the nearest hundredth. We're going to box our answer. Last problem. Chris is buying refreshments for the student council meeting. He has a budget of $440.40. If refreshments usually cost $73.40 per meeting, for how many meetings can he buy a refreshment? Can he buy refreshments? So for how many? So it's taking this total and it wants you to split it up into parts. Therefore, your operation is division. So this is what we are splitting. Therefore, that's what's going as our dividend. 440.40 cents. And we are splitting that up by $73.40. So remember, when we divide by decimals, we want to make this a whole number. So I want you to push pause and try to move the decimal by yourself and then press play when you think you have your answer. Okay, so you should have moved your divisor decimal over 2 times, making it, instead of 73.40, 7,340. And we move the decimal over the same amount of times inside the dividend. So instead of 440, we have 44,040. We do keep our decimal and still bring it straight up into our quotient. So now this just becomes a division problem, coming over to the side and figuring out how many times 7,340 divides into 44,040 to give us total amount of meetings. I'm going to go ahead and leave you to do this on your own. If you have any questions, please ask tomorrow during class.